All right, Professor Project team, Brett Fikowski here. Really excited about the future here. This week for the Professor Project members is a bit of a restorative week, deload week. Obviously, the Open can take a beating on you, the quarterfinal workouts as well. So it's like, you know what, let's take a little bit of time off here, recharge, reset. Super important to do that. I think that, great opportunity to make sure the body's feeling good and to kind of mentally reset for what we have coming. And I'm really excited about it. I had a conversation with someone I know personally about, how's training going, how's life? And, they said, they're like, man, I don't think I've heard you this optimistic and excited. Your general mood is like really good. I haven't heard you talk like this in a long time. And it's because I'm always excited about the next competition, the semis and hopefully the CrossFit Games as well, if all goes well. But I'm really excited because of the training. I just believe that this training is going to put me on a path that's going to make me successful. And so I hope that, as you start to see this training yourselves, you'll start to see the value in it and get just as excited about it as I am right now. So I'm going to get talking about that a little bit. The restorative week is the restorative week. Use it as you see fit. Feel free to mix things up a little bit. If something's giving you trouble, go away from it. If you want to practice a skill, this is a great opportunity. Spend a little extra time on one of these days, working on your ring muscle ups or working on your handstand walks or handstand holds or your body positioning in a wall-facing handstand push-up or a wall walk. Whatever it is, this is a great week to spend a little more time on a skill or, just grab the empty barbell and film yourself doing snatches for an hour. This is the perfect week to do that because I know sometimes as training gets busier, you feel like you're running out of time to get that in, right? So now is the chance to do that. Work on your mobility, open up your shoulders, do the scapjack, whatever that is. So to start planning ahead so you can kind of plan your weeks and, if you're going to different gyms or whatever that looks like. Monday morning, leg strength. Tuesday morning, upper body strength. Wednesday morning, longer run and some gymnastic holds, so things like just basic stuff, handstand holds, top of dip holds, planks, L-sits. Thursday rest. Thursday's all day rest day. But if you have the time, we've got an optional swim workout. So Thursday swim, if you can fit it in. If it doesn't work on Thursday, you can also obviously do it on Sunday and have kind of a full rest day Thursday. Friday morning, leg strength. Saturday morning, upper body strength. And then if you're looking in the evenings, most of it's that's going to be where we're doing our CrossFit. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, CrossFit, WODs, Metcons, whatever you want to call them. Friday evenings, Metcons as well. And then Saturday is that long kind of aerobic grind piece, 45 to 60 minutes, mostly machines, maybe some sleds, maybe some carries, front rack carry, farmer carry, whatever that looks like, depending on the week. And yeah, I'm really excited about once you start to see what these leg strength and upper body strength days look like. So we've kind of got so for example, with the upper body, one day is going to be a high rep pull and, so like 4 sets of 15 assisted strict pull-ups with a band. And then the pressing that day will be, lower reps. So maybe, 5 sets of 8 or 4x4. And then the next day, the next upper body pressing day, you'll flip it. So you do a high rep press day and a lower rep, like strict pull up with weight hanging from you day. And really excited about that. I think it kind of helps to prep your body long term so you can do those high rep kipping pull ups, those high rep strict handstand push ups, kind of train for the body you want and really pump out those muscle endurance and the speed reps. But also training that strength, getting that base of strength, which will help long-term for the speed reps, but also short-term for the more challenging movements, whether for you that might be the ring muscle up, the bar muscle up, where you're only gonna get a few reps at a time. For me, that's for the legless pegboard or the legless rope climb, or if I have to do a ring muscle up in a vest. So building that strength in the lower rep ranges as well. So super excited to kind of mix those two up. And I've found in the past, and going back to it, those high rep, like strict banded pull-ups, super valuable for the chest to bars, bar muscle ups, that sort of thing. And same with high rep pressing to get the handstand push-ups better, whether it be, a big set of kipping or a big set of strict while you're fresh and just banging them out. Instead of just, I got to work on handstand push-ups. You go up against the wall and you're grinding out hard singles in the strict. It's like, well, it's never going to get you to the place where you can do like 15, 20 in a row really fast. Exciting times. Leg strength, kind of the same idea. We've got a, obviously focusing primarily on the snatch and the clean and jerk, as those are, if you can have a really nice snatch and clean and jerk with big weights, you can deadlift, you can squat. So I'd rather prioritize those, but there's still a bit of a heavy squat day, a bit of a heavy deadlift day, and then on those days there's a bit of speed work, kind of disguised as workouts in the evening, and we'll go over that later. But I'm really excited about those, kind of some interval stuff. And then, what else do I want to talk about? Swim on Thursday. Wednesday morning run. So wanting to get some more running in. We're gonna try to make sure there's a shuttle run workout every week, as I think that's just going to be par for the course at a lot of online competitions as well as in-person competitions. I think there'd be a lot more competitions that just run shuttles, as opposed to if they can't afford to bring in 10 air runners or get you to run outside logistically. I think the shuttle run is very much part of the sport. So practicing the technique of touching and just kind of finding a rhythm there. And then Wednesdays, like I said, in the morning, longer run, getting used to some longer runs as a group is just going to be huge. Just, for your cardio in general, but obviously, to get better at running, as that's a pretty important part of fitness. And I think there've been times where that's been a little neglected, and in a way rightfully so, because, a lot of the online qualifiers, a lot of competitions, it's very barbell, gymnastics, and machines, right? And so the running helps those things, but what helps the machines most is, sitting on the machines. So the last thing I want to talk about is sort of reflection. Hopefully you can look back on the open, and if you did the quarter workouts, reflect, get excited about the future, make a plan. There's two things I want to talk about. One, in the quarters, there have been a lot of penalties. It's been pretty crazy, and I can't speak for all of them or the situations or how to solve it, whatever. But the one thing I would say is if you're kind of aware of that and you're thinking, oh man, that's pretty crazy. The only thing you can really do moving forward, assuming, you're not dealing with a penalty right now, is to really work on your movement quality for the next, up until your next competition. So really make sure you're squatting below parallel, make sure you're locking out your reps. It's obviously tough when there's some new movement like a V-snap and you're trying to figure out the standard, but for the movements we know, make sure those are dialed in, right? Practice filming yourself doing your, whatever it is, muscle-ups, handstand push-ups, handstand walks. Make sure every time you do a handstand walk, you're starting behind the line and you're not kicking that hand up there. And when you're going across the line, it's bang, bang, and then feet down. It's not bang, foot, hand. All those little details in training, make those automatic. So when it's time to compete, you're not falling back on bad habits. So that's something, for the Professor Project members, there's some of the best athletes in the world are getting penalties. You just gotta be on it. You gotta be on yourself all the time and be just military level of focus on every rep so that it becomes second nature, especially when you're trying to win, you're trying to move fast, but you have to do it within the confines of those movement patterns that you've practiced. And then lastly, make sure that I feel like this program is going to be really valuable. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be great for the members. Make sure you're not too caught up in training for last year's open. So I remember someone telling me this, and they're like, you can get caught up in training for last year's CrossFit Games. And what that means is you're so hyper-focused on, the events that showed up or the movements that you forget, well, those probably aren't going to be the exact movements that come out again. So, maybe you're like, oh, my strict handstand push-ups are terrible. It's like, well, how are your strict pull-ups? Oh, those are terrible too. Okay. Oh man, my thruster, I gotta get my thruster heavier. It's like, well, what's your snatch like? What's your clean like? What's your jerk? What's your deadlift? Oh, those are bad too. It's like, yeah, or maybe they're really, maybe they're worse, right? Oh, actually, thrusters are a pretty good lift for me. Oh, you know what I mean worse at is 1 rep max overhead squat. It's like, well, that could come up. Oh man, burpee pull-ups crush me. It's like, well, are you good at burpees in general? Instead of just like hyper focusing on a specific movement, look at it more in totality, look at all the movements, look at all the time domains. What is your squat mechanics like? What are your hinging mechanics like? Your upper body pulling, your upper body pressing, open and close, like toe bar, GHD, V-snap, sit up. What is that like? Is that a movement pattern that you're comfortable with, you're strong in, as opposed to hyper focusing on certain movements in certain situations? It's, you could very easily be, I need to get, based on, the last few workouts, I need to get better at, cycling my front squats quickly or deadlifts quickly and improve my 1 rep max thruster. It's like, well, maybe it's gonna be the other way around, where you have to cycle your thrusters quickly and improve your 1 rep max deadlift. So, don't get too hyper focused on the mistakes you made or the things you can't do. Like, you have to get better at everything, right? You have to get better at legless rope climbs, normal rope climbs, bar muscle up, ring muscle up, chest to bar, toe to bar. There are a lot of things in the open that didn't show up, just like in quarters. So don't get too hyper focused on mistakes or shortcomings, and try to think in the totality of all these movement options and all these time domains: short, long, medium, heavy, light, whatever it is. Where are your real weaknesses? Where are the real areas that need your focus? Make a hierarchy and make sure you're touching on those things. And obviously, I think the Professor Project program is a pretty solid general program. It's going to touch on all those things. But take control of your own destiny. If there's something you really feel you need to work on, whether it's overhead mobility or squat strength, maybe it means you need to dial back something in the program and up something else that really needs your attention. So keep that in mind. Create your own week, especially when it comes to the rest day with the Thursday, Sunday, if those need to change. But really looking forward to this next few weeks of programming. I'm excited, and I'm excited to share it with all of you. So that's it. I gotta go eat. Talk to you later.